back to my channel. We are talking about keto grocery shopping, but if you are not on the keto diet, if you are on any diet at all and you just want to be healthy, these foods will be fantastic for you, especially if you need substitutions because you just want to lose some weight or you just want to feel great. So we're going to get right into it. This is probably one of my favorites. It is the flour substitute, and if you stay tuned to the end, I will talk about things to avoid as well, because that's really the problem sometimes in the foods. First and foremost, the most common substitute for any kind of flour, and is usually a 1-to-1 ratio for any kind of baking or cooking recipe, is going to be almond flour. Almond flour is fantastic if you want to bread some chicken nuggets like I have recipes for, if you want to make some chocolate chip cookies, if you're interested in how to do any of that, I have snickerdoodle recipe, which is my favorite. Almond flour is your best friend. Just like you have white flour in your pantry all the time, you need almond flour in your pantry all the time. And as always, it is still from Costco. This is the most affordable brand that I can find. It's like $13 from Costco versus like $20 on Amazon. And it is delicious, it is nutritious. However, just like all nuts, it can be difficult on the digestive tract. That was difficult to say. So if you have IBS, celiac, those kinds of irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, this might not be a good option for you, in which case you would want to try some coconut flour, which is fantastic. It is not a 1-to-1 ratio. It is something that you have to understand is going to absorb a lot of the ingredients, so you have to be really careful with this and often cut it with something. If you are into an oat flavor or a oatmeal kind of thing, and you want to cutting it with flax seed is going to be your best bet. Again, these are all from Costco. Actually, no, wait, this is from Amazon. I'll provide all of the links in the description box below. So this is a great substitute for like any kind of oats. If you want oatmeal, you can cook this in some coconut milk in the morning with breakfast. Put a little bit of those walnuts I talked about in my last video. Top it with some coconut flakes. Throw in some stevia sweetener. The stevia sweetener video, sugar-free video coming soon. I do have a unhealthy sweeteners that you need to know about. I'll link above. So flaxseed is great. I love to make like chocolate chip oatmeal type cookies with these two items. They're fantastic. And then flax makes good gingerbread cookies and a whole host of other things. You can put it in your no sugar yogurt if you're interested in that. Toss it on some salad. Speaking of salads, we're gonna go on to hemp seed. Is also really, really great on the ketogenic diet. It has a high fat concentration, very little carbohydrates, and 10 grams of protein, so it's higher fat. If you're wanting to be a vegetarian version of keto or paleo, I really encourage you to drink hemp. A lot of people use these in smoothies. I don't think being a vegetarian is healthy, so I don't prescribe by it. If you want to do anything, I recommend pescatarian if you are worried about that. I've seen enough fish eyes, I don't think they have souls. I know, I'm a terrible person. Next is chia seeds. Chia seeds, everybody knows this is a superfood. They're really popular. We like to make little like chia seed pudding that we throw some cocoa powder and some stevia into. It's fantastic. You can mix it in. There's like chia oatmeal recipes on the back of this brand. I love this brand, by the way. They carry a lot of good products. They have coconut oil, they have coconut flour, they have chia seeds. Awesome. Again, it will be linked in the description box below. The cool thing about chia, when you put it into water, it gets gelatinous, and so it's a really good option for making your cookie items more gooey if you're wanting a kind of baked sensation in that way, so you soak it first. It also goes great in my keto pancakes, and it's really easy. It doesn't have any flavor. Like coconut flour has a strong flavor, and like almond flour does absorb whatever's around it. Flax has no flavor, and chia has no flavor. Now these next ones are kind of interesting. I wanted to address them. They're straight fibers, so I have psyllium husk powder and whole psyllium husk. These are binding agents. If you want, and they're, again, straight fibers, so if you don't drink a lot of water with most of these items, you're gonna get constipated, so drink your water. Speaking of which, where's my water? I was gonna show you, but never mind. So that is something that will help with the lack of gluten in your foods to make it adhere and to make it stick. So if you're trying to make a pancake, it might be a good option. If you're making a baked item and you want to get it to be a little bit stickier, so like say your cookie doesn't like fall apart into a million pieces, those are great options. I have used some in my pancake recipes, and sometimes it's so absorptive and tacky that it makes the batter really thick and blobby instead of like a smooth kind of Bisquick type thing, and it is difficult to cook. So you kind of got to play around with it and use it to your own discretion. And the last and final thing I'm going to be talking about is arrowroot powder. So if you have a stew or a recipe that you're trying to thicken, this is an item you would coat with. This is extremely starchy. This is not exactly keto friendly. I never really use more than a teaspoon of this for an entire recipe. It's really just to make a roux and stuff like that. I actually use it for dry shampoo for my hair. Hey, more than for cooking. However, it's come in really handy, and I did buy this again on Amazon. It has lasted me forever. And it just is kind of one of those things that you can just kind of add a little bit here and there for your baking items. Now, we're gonna kind of address really quickly the flours you want to avoid. When you go into a store and you're looking at gluten-free items, or you're looking at a mozzarella gluten-free chicken crust, the unfortunate thing is that most of them are cut with cheap flours that are not good for you, and in the sense that they will spike your insulin levels so high that you won't lose the weight that you want, because that's what you're trying to avoid. You're trying to avoid spiking your insulin levels, which causes you to gain weight. It's more complex than that, but I really don't want to put that in this video, and I can if you want to have another one. Dr. Eric Berg is an excellent resource for this, and I would highly suggest you watch some of his videos. But for the purposes of this one, you want to avoid cornstarch. That's a really bad one. Tapioca starch, potato starch, rice flour, and let me think about anything else they come with it. Those are the big four that you really want to avoid, because those are going to drastically, spike your insulin levels. I think that this one's obvious, but I'll throw it in there. The number one really should have been wheat flour. Don't have wheat. It's a GMO. It was genetically modified back in the 50s. It's a splice of grains that our body doesn't recognize, and it is the core problem for a lot of our health issues today, especially anything inflammatory, from headaches and migraines to a sinus infection or difficulty breathing with allergies and asthma. And of course, all of the new illnesses that have come up with our digestive tract, ulcerative colitis, IBS, celiac disease, gluten intolerances, and so on, come from wheat. So if you want to do anything in your life that's going to drastically change your mental health, your brain health, your energy levels, your weight loss, anything at all, you want to get rid of wheat, corn, and soy. Those three, and then we've already addressed sugars in my other videos, but those are the three grain-like products that you should never eat, that are garbage. You need to avoid them. All right, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends who are trying the ketogenic diet, or even if they're trying paleo, whatever they're trying to do. If they just want to feel good and lose some weight and they've been struggling, please share this with them. I want to inform people and start to debunk all the myths out there in the world, because it is so hard to navigate, and I feel like this is a really good get yourself started, empty the garbage out of your pantry, and just get going. So thank you so much for being here with me today. Comment below with what questions you have, or anything you're curious about, other recipes you'd like to see, or if you have some suggestions for us as other alternatives that do not spike your insulin levels. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.